10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. It is Thursday night. It is time to kick back. It's almost at the end of the week. Pour yourself a cold one, crack yourself a stiff one, hell, roll yourself a green one if that's the way you like to chill out. However you like to chill out, sit back and relax because we have an amazing guest for you tonight. It is me, once again, the dad bod god himself, the bald, the beard, the fucking beautiful, if you ask me. My wife sometimes says annoying, but anyway. But guys, I have an amazing guest for you, the lovely Skyklar Cruize, and I'm going to bring Skylar out in just a moment. But before I do, I want to take a quick second, a quick pause for the cause, a quick moment, if you will, to thank some sponsors that help us keep these flashy lights on I got going on around the house. First up is Sleefs.com, ladies and gentlemen. That's SLEEFS, Sleefs. Now, if someone like you, or if you or someone you know is an athlete, I should say, you need to check out Sleefs.com. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, compression socks, headbands, mouth guards, boots. They've even got dirty boxes, guys. And I have to say, they sent me like 2 boxes of these dirty boxes. How many times can I say boxes in a sentence? One more time, boxes. There you go. These dirty boxes that they make are absolutely amazing, guys. They are the most comfortable boxes that I own. I'm an active guy. I'm running around, chasing after my 3 lunatic kids, going to the gym. These boxes stay fresh. They stay dry. They stay comfortable. Make sure you check them out, guys. Go to sleefs.com. Use promo code MWAPOD, and you will get a 10% discount at your final purchase. Now, guys, while you're checking stuff out online, oh no, that's the wrong one. Let's head over to healthvape.com. Guys, healthvape.com provides you a healthy vaping alternative, guys. All of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals, and they are vitamin infused, guys. So go and get your health on, go get your health vape on, and use promo code MWA at checkout for 10% off your final purchase. Now, guys, MWA Podcast Network, we have so much going on here, guys. You know, we've got amazing shows that you can catch here, 7 to be exact. You've got Nights of the Gimmick Table hosted by the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider, who are tag team wrestling legends who have been up and down the American independent circuit and 2 of the most respected guys on the indies to this day. Check out their show. It's an amazing show, Nights of the Gimmick Table. They're bringing on their friends they've gone up and down the roads with, having amazing stories, a lot of laughs. Guys, also check out Killing the Business, hosted by ECW Original, the Kingpin, Angel motherfucking Medina, and also joined by King Mega and the Burger King, Glenn Sexton. But guys, we got more shows for you. We've got Get Funked, hosted by former WCW and TNA star Alan Kwee Funk. Alan, Kwee as we call him, he has had on some amazing guests, guys. He's brought on a lot of his friends from the Power Plant days. They tell amazing stories. If you're an old school wrestling fan, you dig that WCW genre, that time, I should say, in company, go and check out Get Funked. It's an amazing show, and you will not be disappointed, guys. Also, check out the Funkin' Kingpin with Kwee and the Kingpin, and also check out NXT Roundup with me and Glenn Sexton every single week. and also Wrestling with Sports. So, guys, that's a lot of shows. You guys have a lot to check out at the MWA Podcast Network, but that's why we are the #1 wrestling media company in the world, guys. So make sure you support us. Like, subscribe, share wherever you're finding us, whether it's podcast platforms to YouTube to Twitch. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe, give us a thumbs up, smash that fucking thumbs up button. But guys, I'm excited. I'm going to bring out my guest of the moment, Ms. Skyklar Cruize. Skylar, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming and joining. But Skylar, we're talking just before and a little bit of information. I like to do a little bit of research on my guests before I bring them on. And I found out that you are still recently new into the world of in-ring professional wrestling, making your debut in wrestling in 2020 during probably a crazy 12 months during a pandemic where we're on 1 minute, we're locked down the next minute, we have shows, then shows get canceled, then they're back on again, then they cancel again, then they're back on again, then they cancel again. How did you get yourself through that? Like being someone new in the business?
You know what? I actually think I needed it. And I always like to find some kind of silver lining. But I thank my lucky stars that we had such extensive lockdowns because when you're there, you can either go in two different directions and you can either get lazy and kind of give up on yourself and kind of see the easy way out.
100%.
Lockdown really allowed me to get stuck into a routine. And I think lockdown was the first point in my life where I started to take this very seriously and started to kind of think of this as a career, and allowed me to make that a routine every single day. And when you're doing that behind the scenes and not in front of everyone, there's a lot of grace to that as well, because it allows you to try out different things. And I had to support myself a lot. So I think it was a really good experience for me personally. But in saying that, am I sad that we're getting out of lockdown? Am I going to shed a few tears? No. I'm so excited to get back out there, to get straight back into classes again, and to kind of show everyone what I'm made of, because I didn't really get the chance to yet. I haven't even scratched the surface. I popped my face out and said, hey, this is me. And then we will lock down again. So I'm just excited to get the ball rolling again and to see where I can go.
But in a way, like it's mental toughness as well to be in lockdown, and it's easy to fall into that trap of like your mind messing with you. It's easy to sort of go, oh, I can skip that workout, or you know what, it's a Wednesday, I'll have that pizza or burger. You know what I mean? It's easy to fall into that trap in a lockdown life, but to stay dedicated and to stay motivated during that time, I take my hat off to people, because I'm going to be honest, I had quite a few cheat meals during the week, which I wouldn't usually do. But for you guys, and I had Silvio on the other day, and he said the same thing. Like he just kept himself motivated, and while not watching wrestling, he was sort of just like keeping fit, keeping his mind going, and trying to explore other options.
You have to stay ready, because you don't know when things are just going to happen again. And I kept telling myself, I don't want to come back after having so much time off and then look completely different and be, God forbid, not the best that I could be. I wanted to be in the best shape, and that's kind of what got me motivated. I did take a grace period where I was like, Uber Eats? Yeah, I don't want to cook tonight. Let's order some Uber Eats. But when you kind of hear that you're getting out of lockdown, then you're kind of like, okay, let's chuck the pizza away. Where's some broccoli? Give me some water. But I did definitely allow myself some grace, at least twice a week. You got to stay sane. And you're right, it is mental toughness. I think this time really separates people. I think you see people who do this as a hobby, and I think you see people who do this as a possible career path. But yeah, it separates people, and I'm pretty. You said mental toughness, but I've been lifting some weights.
You're looking very physical fit. Look at the arms. I'm intimidated.
I know, right?
I'm glad we're in different states right now, because I'm just like scared I might get beaten. But I think as well, like the mental toughness and the physical toughness to get through that aspect is really challenging. And as you said, it takes people from the weekend warriors to the people that are really passionate about it and want to take it to that next level.
Yeah, definitely. I think you might not see a lot of the same faces. I think when you're alone by yourself, because wrestling isn't really a time where you get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. There's going to be a period in everyone's careers where things are just done. And you kind of think, okay, I can't really see this going anywhere. What am I doing? You get confused. You don't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's up to you to keep going, no matter what that takes. It's up to you to remember why you started. It's up to you to remember where you want to go.
Yeah.
And so I think in a way it was a good motivator, and it was a good reminder as well to appreciate the opportunities when you get them.
Yeah.
And it's hard because when I wasn't allowed in the ring anymore, only then did I realize, okay, I kind of need it.
Because would you say it became like an addiction almost? Like, yeah, I mean, like you just wanted to get in there and just like bump, roll around, like train or perform.
It's so funny you say that. 'Cause I was on a walk before and I was literally thinking like when you dedicate your life to something, you haven't got time for much else, but there's a beauty in the discipline and you've got to really enjoy it, because as much as it hurts physically, mentally, emotionally, you can bleed, you can cry, you can throw up, you can wonder what the heck's going on. If you need it, you need it. And I need it. And I didn't realize that I needed it before this lockdown at all.
Yeah, and it's almost like, you know, to have something and then have it taken away. And I've said this before, like for the longest time, like, you know, this year we saw like Australian wrestling being the only wrestling and pretty much some of the only sporting going on in the world happening in Australia at full capacity and almost having crowds at full capacity. And I think it really shined the light on the Australian product to people that are more international, if that makes sense. Like the more of that light is, you know, the attention has been put on the Australian product here, which I think has really sort of, you know, benefited the product. And I think, you know, seeing companies going on Fight TV, independent wrestling TV, these opportunities where it's like maybe 10 years ago, they weren't there.
Yeah. It's funny because every time something huge happens, it's a perfect time to kind of reevaluate and to choose what things you want to let go of and choose how you want to grow. So many people have taken this opportunity to grow in different ways. Like MCW just joined Fight TV, and I'm so excited. And that's, I think it has been something that's been on their agenda for a very long time, but COVID just kind of opened that door a little bit sooner. And maybe if we weren't put in that position, it wouldn't have happened the way that it did as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a comment in the chat from Alan Kiwi Funk saying, Skylar, when you're in the States, you got to train with the Kiwi for a gym session. And what Kiwi at the age of 50, like seriously, is like just I'm 39 and I just look at him, I'm just like, I'm just in shame. Like he's in amazing shape.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But if you ask like one of our mutual friends, Angel, his Angel's just gonna go, gimmicks.
always. No, I'm so down.
But no, he's 100% natural. He's in great shape, Alan. So, but you know, as far like MCW has been one of those promotions. Like now they're on Fight TV. They're really able to sort of showcase their talent. I actually saw the last show, I believe, just before lockdown, and I absolutely loved it. It was great. I really enjoyed MCW's work, and I have for the longest time. I think that the product that you guys put out, you know, really, you know, there's a few companies in this country that stand above the rest, like that are performing at a different level. PWA, MCW, Deathmatch Down Under, you know, EPW, Riot, Riot, RCW, Rampage. Like there's so many other ones that you can mention that are just doing everything right at the moment. But Melbourne City Wrestling is at like almost at the forefront of that. As far as you being a wrestling fan, how did your sort of start into wrestling sort of come? Like, were you a fan or did you kind of like fall into it?
I absolutely fell, and I didn't fall gracefully. It sounds so cliche because it's something that I've heard before, but I've really just I was one of those kids that was just chilling around and my dad was watching this thing on TV where people beat each other up. And at first I was a bit like, And then my brother started watching it, and then it became, okay, let's eat our dinner and let's watch the TV, and this thing would come on. And then after a while, you're kind of like looking down and you're not really paying attention. And then one day it kind of hits you where you're like, there's just something in this that is physically calling me. And I didn't know what it was, but I felt that every single time the women were on TV. Like being a little girl and seeing Lita and Trish, and this idea that you can be sexy and strong, and that you can use your body to kind of fight back and to fight some battles for you, and to see these larger than life characters. I was just a little girl, and I was like, there is nothing else for me than that. Like this, I can't wrap my mind around the fact that there is anything else for me than that. It was just this surreal art form that I fell in love with for the characters, and I stayed for the in-ring performance, because technical wrestling is so beautiful. And you'll never get to a stage where you know everything. There's always something to learn, and there's always different people to work with. So I fell in love with the characters, and I stayed for the artwork of it. And that's how it happened. It was my dad and my brothers.
Yeah. Did you have any of your brothers gotten into wrestling?
Oh, well, this is the good thing, because all of my brothers are older than me, and they were too cool for wrestling. They're not going to walk around with their WWE shirts in high school. No, they're too cool for it.
You rocked out?
I'm a different story. When I started training, and my brother still says to me, like, one of my biggest regrets is not seeing how I could have gone with it, because like you're killing it. And it brings him joy to kind of see me going out there, because in Australia, it's different too. You see people on TV in America and you just think, cool, amazing, not going to happen for me. Get a real job. Okay, I should probably become a teacher or a doctor or an astronaut. No, I think a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people don't even start, is the idea of failure. And so, yeah, my brother tells me all the time he hates that he didn't try. And he's really proud of me for giving it my best efforts. And now that I've started, I'm not stopping. So
what were your parents' thoughts on it when you said, like, hey, this is what I'm going to go start doing?
My mum, look, at first, I remember the first time, like, seeing TV, and I was like this, just staring at the TV. And my mum comes into the room, and I'm like, how can I do this? I want to do this. I was like 10, and she was like, honey, they don't have lives. Like, and that's not, no, you need to focus on school, and she thought that it was a phase. Sorry, Mum, wasn't. I was a dancer. I've been a dancer my whole life. So she didn't want to see me getting my hair pulled out and taking a million falls, and she still kind of, it aches her a little bit. She gets nervous. But once I started taking it seriously, my dad's like, oh, I'll train ya, and we'll get the boxing bag outside, because he used to do boxing. And yeah, he's like, you can run around the golf course, and I'll keep you on track with your meals. And I'm like, all right. So now they're my biggest fans. But when I was first like, I want to do this, when I was like 10, they were like, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's probably like a 10-year-old saying, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life." Like,
I'm gonna do it.
I'd probably turn around and said I was going to be a Ninja Turtle at 10. And
100%. My mum's like, you're gonna drop your whole life here. You're gonna leave me, and you're gonna go to a different country to live by yourself. And I said, yes, ma'am, I am. That's where my heart is. And she said, okay, we'll see. And sooner enough, throughout the years, we just kind of kept having more conversations, and wrestling always kind of entered them. And it got to a point where she was like, wait, you weren't kidding about what you said. And I'm like, no. Yeah. Once I got serious, they got serious, and they've been so supportive.
So you said your dad was watching it. So is your dad like would you, I don't want to say, like, is he in tune with the business? Like, is he one of those people that have gone and learned all about it? Or is he just like on a face value fan, like sit down and watch it?
God, no. Complete face value. He does not know what the heck is going on. He appreciates the characters and the stories that they tell, but he doesn't understand why. And he doesn't understand that it's an art form, and that at the end of the day, we're telling stories over actual violence intentionally Yeah, he appreciates the end product, but anything that goes on behind the scenes, he's a bit like, call me when it's showtime, you know? Like,
Well, there you go. He doesn't want to lose the magic of a show. Like, that's fair enough. You can respect that.
and you know what kills me? He never watches promos unless they're like shot by really talented promos that can just like capture the attention of everyone. He sits there in his little chair and the wrestling's on the TV and he'll have his iPad on his lap. And when promos will start, he'll just mute it and he'll just go about his games. And I'm sitting there like, really? I want to hear what they're saying. Like it kills me. So yeah, he loves like big pay-per-view events. I don't know if he can do like watch a show every single week. I don't know if he can watch it from start to beginning.
Yeah.
From start to beginning, from start to end. But he there are parts of it that he can appreciate. And he loves watching me. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. So your parents come to shows and cheer you on?
Yeah, absolutely. They came to Homecoming, which is actually where I debuted. Gave them a little heads up that something funky was happening, and they absolutely showed up. Like I said, that there are times where they do get a bit like, and sometimes as well, going out and hearing the response from the fans. Sometimes you're sitting there as a parent and you're like, did you just call my daughter a bitch? And like you kind of want to. I was very worried about that side of things, and I have to kind of sit them down and say, just leave it, just let them react how they want to react. I was kind of nervy about that.
Yeah.
So I do get nervous when they come to see me because I don't want them to be like super overprotective. But they've been pretty good so far.
It's funny. I remember like when I spoke to Rochelle Rogue and she told me
Yeah.
like at some show her dad was at, some guy standing next to him going, "Wow, that shot Rochelle Rogue's got a great ass," and he was like, "That's my daughter, you fucking." And the guy was like, she's like, he was so like mortified, this guy, and she was like, but I'm just like saying, but that's the thing. Some wrestling fans just don't have any concept of what they're
None.
saying. To, like, I don't want to say wrestling fans, but I'm saying like there's probably like some people in general just have no concept of social appropriateness of like
None. And none. And I guess we sign up for that. It's a show.
Yeah.
React how you want to react. Of course, there's a line for everything, but it is something that we sign up for in a way. I think all the comments are interesting. Rochelle Rogue definitely has a great behind. So that man was absolutely factual. Would I say that in front of her dad? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, crowd participation when it's well intended.
Yeah.
Is that there's no other better adrenaline rush.
Oh, 100%. And you know, seeing your character when you come out and you perform, you have this like a very high level of confidence. You know, you come out there and it's like you definitely, you know, present that. For you, are you naturally a confident person? Like you walk in the room, can sort of like be the life of the party? Because that's when you come out, that's what you sort of project, this, you know, strong confidence. You know, tell me about that.
I decided when I was getting into wrestling that if I was going to do it and if I was going to get to a point where I wanted to be on shows, I made the decision the most important quality for me to have was confidence. If that's perceived as arrogance, so be it. If that can be perceived as maybe she's a bit insecure, so be it. I wanted to be the most confident person in the room because there's nothing I can do in life if I'm not on my own side. It's everyone else's job and motive to see how they feel about me. I have no choice. I have to be my own best friend. I have to see the good in myself. I have to absolutely know that when it's time to go, I'm going to be the absolute best at what I can do. I'm going to be the best me. How that comes off as, I don't care, but I am absolutely, confidence is very important to me. I work on it a lot. Because if you listen to people, if I listened to anyone, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be going where I wanted to be going if I listened to the one person on Twitter who was like, she's kind of a loser and she's kind of fat. She should maybe stay home all day. Okay. I know me and I love me. and I know where I'm going and I love where I'm going, no one will get in the way of that.
Yeah. And that's a good mentality to have as well. Like, especially in a world where social media and people have burner accounts and think that they have, I find it funny that people go on social media and think that they have a right to go and speak to someone that they don't know in a way, which, you know what I mean? Like, I just sit there and go like, man, like, is your life that sad that you have to like hit up celebrities and just talk down, like, or just people that are achieving in life and have to attack them? Like, why?
My favorite is when they actually follow you. They're following you. They like your stuff. Then there might be that one post, but it's jealousy. They couldn't do half the things that we do by themselves, and I think that's where it comes from. I think when you're hurting, you want to hurt other people.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
sad, but it is absolutely amusing.
It is. It's like, but I just never got it. Like the whole troll thing. It's like, back how I grew up is like, if you had a problem with someone, you said it's their face. If you wanted to step
Right.
outside and sort it out, you go outside and you throw hands and dust yourself off and you go on your way.
I don't understand the mentality either to kind of be sitting there, you're scrolling through your feed and you see something you don't like and you're like, I'm going to comment and I'm going to ruin that person's day. And okay. But they're scrolling and they take this long time to process this huge paragraph of how much they hate you, yet they still continue to follow you. And I bet you the second that you start succeeding the way they want to succeed, their hate's going to flatline. And they're going to be like, oh my God, I always believed in you.
Yeah.
Some voices are just voices.
I had one a couple months ago where this person said to me, like, they sent me a really nasty message saying, you're terrible at what you do, your podcasts suck, blah, 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 blah. Then the last bit was, and then at the end of it, it was like, do your children a favor and kill yourself. And I was like, I looked at this and I'm sitting there like with my wife and I thought, I'm not even going to respond to this. And I thought, you know what? No, I am going to respond, because it's like, what if I wasn't a strong person that would sit there and, take that to heart, like Hannah Kimura, someone else. So I responded and I just simply said, I don't know who you are. You know who I am. You watch everything I do. Bitch, that makes you a fan. Know your role. Stay in your fucking lane and don't message people trying to act tough and pretend out of jealousy, because you can't do what I do and you can't do what other people do. So grow up, be an adult, get on with your fucking life and leave people alone. Simple.
I don't know what it takes to say that to someone. Kill yourself.
That's like I just went, wow, I've really pissed. Like, how have I hurt you? Like,
or do you not even feel? Are you not even a human being? Have you never had one bad day in your life? Like, don't you understand? Because I bet you if you actually took on their advice, the next day they'd be like, oh my God, he was such a good dude, really good podcast, like shoot for the stars, guys. Know that you can talk to someone. We're all here for you, my dude. We're all one big happy family. That's what you say a lot of on social media, especially during this lockdown. The second someone finds a reason to latch onto someone, to start hating on that person, everyone just kind of joins, and then it becomes this big bullying fest, and it's like, kill yourself? What?
But you know what? Like, I'm okay, Kyle. It's going to take more than words to fucking get me down, bro. But
give you a hug. I'm not okay.
I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a shit what people say. It's like, the people I care about, they're the people I care about. Some person who don't even know, who has like no face on their profile. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Good for you, bro or sis. Go do your thing. Go fuck off somewhere else.
Right.
But that's the thing. I think to have that confidence, as you said, to get the sort of, people trolling you to go, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm moving forward. But your opinions mean nothing. You know what I mean? I'm going shooting for the stars and I'm going to get there.
And at the end of the day, they're still saying my name. There's something that I'm doing that's pulling some type of a reaction that can go into my storytelling. So thank you so much for your feedback. I'm going to continue to keep doing me and to keep projecting whatever I'm projecting, and you're going nowhere. Like, you're basically telling me I'm doing a good job. So thank you. But
exactly. And you know what? It's almost like Conor McGregor says, I need more haters because the old ones became my fans.
Right? And it's boring
I-
when everyone likes you as well. I don't want everyone to keep telling me, like, at the same time, "You're doing a great job, hun. You're perfect. You're great." That's boring. No. Tell me I suck. I'll prove you wrong. Like, let me know where this is gonna go, and I can keep at it. Like, if it's gonna be a bit of a back and forth, show me how I can prove to you that you're wrong and I'm right, because I will.
Yeah. Or even if, like, you can have people give constructive criticism, go, hey, what you did there was good, but what if you did this better? Obviously, like, you're not going to take advice from someone that's going to come up to you at the end of the show and go, hey, Skylar, when you did that suplex, try hooking the arm. Oh, have you wrestled before? No, but I've watched WWE since the 80s. Trust me, darling, you'll get it. Yeah.
So sorry. That's stuck in my noggin. I'll take that on board.
I've seen that at shows.
Yeah, leave the wrestling to me, hun. I'm in great hands. I learn from the best. I'm good at what I do. Thank you so much for your opinion. Keep watching me.
Great way to approach it. But
100%.
you mentioned Homecoming as being your debut show. How was it to go out there and to debut in the ring and to have that moment?
At that point, I hadn't done it before. I knew when I started specifically at the academy that I wanted to debut for MCW. So I waited and I kept patient and I kept training to kind of bide my time to see when an opportunity would come up, because I knew when an opportunity would come up, I was going to take it. So at that moment, when there was an opportunity and I can take it and I could run with it, there was no better feeling. And that's the thing, I wasn't debuting at a subpar show. I was debuting at one of the best in Australia. And I wasn't debuting in a dark match. I was debuting in the only women's match that happened to be a championship match. And I wasn't a mouthpiece. I wasn't managing my best friend. I was there by myself. I get chills thinking about it, because still it feels so surreal, because having that moment and then having nothing, big high, big dip. But that moment has kept me holding on throughout this lockdown specifically, because once you get a taste of something like that, you can't go back. That's a feeling that I'm going to keep chasing for as long as I can. It was like the stars just aligned. It was just everything that I could have hoped for. I couldn't have dreamt it better.
And as far as before having your match, you mentioned before that you were started off a year prior as doing a valet manager role. How did you get into that? Was that because you'd had started training and that was sort of a way to introduce you into the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guy that I actually manage, Anth, me and him have been in each other's lives forever. We went to primary school together. We went to high school together. He was always the kid below me who was the shy, quiet one. And then eventually when you graduate high school and you kind of take a few years back and you kind of think about what you wanted to be, we reconnected at wrestling. And
that's insane.
Yeah, bonkers. And we both went to the academy together. And because we were starting out at the same time, we really could lean on each other, because we understood where the other person came from, because we had been there ourselves. And it was insane to see him go from a kid to being a man with goals and ambitions and passion. And he's a beautiful person. So when he was starting to get, he's always in ring shape. He's got like 8 abs. It's ridiculous. He's body fat level.
Like a carb boy.
He's ridiculous. Like a god, basically a god. Like his abs are just like, Anyway, I'm in love. He's amazing. When he started to get ready, he was kind of getting pushed out that door. But there was something, I don't want to say missing, because he's incredible on his own. But he wanted me there, and I wanted to be with him and to experience that with him. So we debuted together. I was his manager. We'd like to tag together. It's interesting now because we're on more of an even playing field, because we've got the same amount of training. I've wrestled some matches now, so I'm not just a mouthpiece that can just sit by and watch his matches. I can get involved. But that's kind of how it came up. It was absolute fate. We kind of got paired together. Our coach was like, there's something about you guys where you have this chemistry. We didn't really know it at the time. We knew that we were close and we knew that we had this special relationship because we literally grew up together. But thinking back now, at that time, all I wanted to do was debut alone. But the fact that I got to be by his side and the fact that he got to be by mine when I debuted, I wouldn't have it any other way. That I don't know how else I could be doing this if I didn't have him there, because when you get given something that you've been dreaming of, there's only so much you can appreciate that for yourself. To have someone there by your side who's witnessed everything that you've gone through, who's been there for the climb, there's nothing like it. So yeah, I managed him. We debuted a year ago, late 2019. Am I bad at math right now?
That's about 2 years ago, 2021.
Right. Yeah. So, and he was killing it, and he still kills it. So we're really happy to be where we're at. We're still a solid team. Throughout the lockdown, we keep sending each other texts to kind of keep each other in check. And he actually just got COVID. He got COVID. He did.
Really?
Oh, he just got diagnosed with COVID. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it sucks. He's obviously doing all the right things now. It's funny. His mum starts to meal prep for him now, and she knows how to count whatever macros he's on. She weighs everything, and in the morning she'll put it by his door. She'll leave it on a little stool, and he'll open the door and take it and go back into his room. So he's getting better, which is great, because I want to come back with him. So yeah, we've been on a pretty good journey so far.
Oh man, that's crazy. But it's good that his mum's able to keep him in check with on the meal prep and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's nuts. Like to have that and be so close to being out of lockdown as well, and for him to get that. It's yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. Hope you get better, brother. Kick out of it and see you at the show soon. But how did you feel being a mouthpiece and being like, as far as coming out and being a manager? How did that feel for you as the presentation as a whole, being a part of that team coming out?
If it was for anyone else, I absolutely would not do it, because that didn't align with my goals. And to some degree, I was very ignorant at the time. I didn't understand the importance of a manager. I didn't understand that they could literally make or break a match like that. I didn't understand. I came into the business and I was a bit selfish, and I thought I want to be out there by myself and achieve my own goals and to do that alone. But to be by his side, there's just something about it that just felt so right. And when something feels so right, you can't kick it aside and not give it a go. That there's always something about him that felt quite like home, and us being together, it just worked. So eventually I was happy. And now, having the experience that I had, crowd interaction and ring placement and working with the guys that I don't really get the chance to as a woman, being out there, having a microphone in front of a live audience, like everything has been so telling, and it's been an experience. And at this point, I'm all for the experiences. Give me a million different ones. I want to learn and I want to get better. So I would not do it for anyone else, because there's something about Anth that he feels like home. But eventually it grew on me. But I do love the fact now that we can tag together and we can be a bit like level.
Yeah. But also it's a good thing as well, because it gives you, like, it's given you an opportunity before you made your debut to build up a character, to work on that, to be able to learn how to get heat, get yourself over and get that crowd reaction that you want. What do you prefer to work? Do you prefer to work heel, or do you prefer to work babyface?
I'm just myself. There's no other way to say it. I just go with what feels right. Me and Anth, I guess the energy that we put off tends to kind of make people, I want to say jealous. I want to say pissed off, and that's fine. If I'm doing me and you want to react the way you want to react, then that's perfectly fine. You're a paying fan. At the end of the day, I'm put on this show. I'm probably taking your money as part of my pay. Thank you so much for your service. I'll see you at the next show, and I'm going to keep doing me. I don't care how that come across. We're just being us. There is no heel, babyface, whatever. We're just going to be us.
And how's the crowd usually react with you guys?
Oh, they hate me.
They hate you, really?
They start to love him, and I'm like, he doesn't like you either. But okay. They definitely like him more than they like me. Like the things that I've heard, like when he's doing his thing and I'm trying to pay attention and there's just these squeals. They're very entertaining. Yeah, they definitely like him more. They're not a huge fan of me. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens when I come back.
Do you care either way?
I don't care either way, but I think working where I want to work, MCW is my home promotion.
Yeah.
I would love to build a women's division there, and I'd love to be the face of it. And I think to some extent, if I'm going to be the one holding that championship one day, there has to be some level of understanding and there has to be some level of relationship between me and the audience. Maybe one day they will absolutely love me and buy my merch and love all my Instagram photos and things like that. Cool if they do, cool if they don't. I'm just focused on me.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. But
100%.
you know, as far as you and Anth tagging together, who would you guys like to sort of go up against and have some tag team matches with?
Everyone, give me everyone. I want the baddest guy and I want the baddest girl and I want them to be in a ring in front of me and Anth, and I just want to go and I just want to see what happens. It's funny because we see each other train all the time. We're such a close unit. I know that he can go. I know damn well that I can go. I'm not really threatened by it. Specifics? Miss Delta is catching my eye. You mentioned before that you watched the last show before lockdown. She was on that. I wasn't on that. She was on that. I had a manager role and she was wrestling for the championship. She catches my fancy. In terms of the guys, Tony Villani and Anth Cava have always had some sort of beef because he's from the academy too. We were actually meant to have a match against Jake Androtha and Chanel Phoenix at Wrestle Rock, which I was so hyped.
That would have been cool.
It would have been so cool. Hopefully that can happen again. I want everyone. I want the biggest guy. I want the biggest girl. Chuck him in a room with us. Let's see what happens. There's no one I want to say no to.
And as far as like when you broke into wrestling, like what was your goals getting into it? Were you like, I want to go and take this overseas? Was that 10-year-old dream still there when you broke into the business?
I think a 10-year-old me was like, I want to be Trish Stratus, but I can't be Trish Stratus. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. There's no technology for it. It's like she's her own person. I am my own person. It won't happen. But the goal is very much WWE. It's always been WWE. I just think that the fact that it's so personal and it's something that I grew up with, it's very nostalgic. And it's that sense of I've been dreaming about being there, and something about that place just makes me feel like it's very much a possibility. So that's always been the goal. Getting into the indie scene, I've started to separate that into smaller goals. I want championships. I want to wrestle all over Australia. If I had the opportunity to go overseas just on the independent scene, I'd be so happy about that. Now that we're out of lockdown, that's very much a possibility. So definitely the smaller goals are there. I want to wrestle everywhere. I want to wrestle everyone. I want to wrestle women. I want to wrestle women. I want to wrestle men. Yeah, right? Like, okay, let's just go with that. I want to wrestle all the women. Give
the
me all
Finland.
the women. I want to wrestle all of them. Yeah. There's no one I can say no to because you can never anticipate the chemistry or the flow that's going to happen in a match. The second it goes ding, 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 and it's you and them, something's going to happen. And you don't know when that something's going to be special, and you don't know when it's going to make magic, and you don't know when that's going to impact people. So I can't say at this point that I'm saying no to anyone or anything.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that that's probably the most important thing as well, especially like so early in a career, is to like
Yeah.
take every opportunity and learn something from everyone that you get to work with, and take that experience on. And I think that that's what you probably hear from a lot of, you know, veterans in professional wrestling, you know, would say that to a lot of the young people. Take every opportunity, knock it out of the park, do it to the best of your ability. And, you know, it definitely sounds like you have that mentality.
They would say to wrestle all the women.
All the
Wrestle
women.
all the women. Hashtag wrestle all the women. I'm doing it.
Kick the women's ass. Let's go.
Yes.
But you know, as far as like what's next for you guys, like, you know, obviously we're coming out of lockdown, or we're out of lockdown. Melbourne's coming out of lockdown. You know, I
No
believe
need
next
to
week.
brag.
Hey, 4 months, right? 4 months we've been in lockdown here. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think that, you know, even Melbourne's starting to opening up, and we're starting to see shows getting promoted. You know, what's next for you career wise? Like, has there been any talk of like shows coming up with that you're going to be on?
Absolutely. I'm always kind of, and I'm learning. It's funny now because when I was training, I had to learn very slowly how to put myself out there in a way that doesn't step on anyone's toes, and in a way that just kind of made me available if people were interested in working with me. I have been learning how to do that. I will absolutely be traveling interstate to train with a very reputable academy soon. So you're just going to have to follow my Instagram and see that. There are a few shows coming up that there are talks of having me be involved with, which is very exciting. It's funny because at the start of the year, I always make these like yearly bucket lists. And being in lockdown, I was like, okay, well, none of this is going to happen. But now that we're getting out of lockdown, I'm looking at my list and I could be like, okay, within the next few months, I can literally just go tick, 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 because they're all happening at once. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up. Keep checking out on the socials. I'll keep promoting everything. But my face is going to be all over Australia, all over Australian wrestling, and I'm very excited.
Do you like, as far as like, you know, now being the face of Australian wrestling and being, you know, in the business for the last couple of years, what, like, when you sit down and watch wrestling, has your level of being a fan and how you enjoy watching wrestling changed now that you're in the business?
It's so hard to watch a wrestling match as a fan now. I'm always going to be a fan, and I'm always going to, if matches are good, I'm always going to be there emotionally. But it's so hard to not think about how a match is constructed and what the story it is that they're telling and things like that. And even watching movies now, I can't watch a simple movie and be like, okay, yep, that was the conflict, and here's the resolution, and here's a nice ending, and it's wrapped together in a bow. It's so hard for me to watch a movie and now to watch a wrestling match and just to sit back and let it soak in and to enjoy it, because in my mind, I'm like, I want to be there. And what do I got to do to be there? So occasionally when the feelings are there and the match is really good, I can't help but just like shut my mind up and be there and let myself feel it. So it stopped in that way. I can't help but think about every single thing that goes into it. I can't help but think about what the wrestlers are thinking and feeling in that time. If something goes wrong, if everything went how they wanted it to, how they feel after the match is done, everything. I think about everything, and it drives me nuts.
So it's hard for you to actually enjoy it now and sort of like detach from it from a in-worker perspective.
So hard. It's crazy. Like, I still enjoy it, and I could watch wrestling all day. But there's just this part of me now that's like, okay, I've been in that position. and maybe I would have done this differently. Little things like that. I think once you've experienced something, it's hard not to take yourself out of the equation.
Yeah, 100%. And when you do watch wrestling, what are you watching?
I like the fire. I like when you
death
you
matches?
think that, no. I like it when you think that you can pick a clear winner and then someone surprises you. And I like seeing people's progression. I like seeing people's spirit light up when they keep getting kicked in the head a million times. And when the crowd's cheering whatever they want to cheer, I love seeing people rise up from that. That's always something that I'm watching for. Someone the underdog, or someone that just knows that, someone who has the same confidence that I do. Because a lot of the time with wrestling, you can see straight through it. I'm looking for someone that knows that's where they want to be, because whoever they are, I know that I want to be across the ring from them.
Yeah. And I think confidence is such a big part of what you guys do as far as in-ring performers. Like, to go out there at very exposed, like wearing very little clothing, you have to have a certain level of confidence as a human being to go out there and like almost like a thing of not giving a fuck in that particular moment of like the outside world, like going in there and doing that. So I think that the confidence is such an important thing, because I think if you're worried about something else while you're in a match, there is more of a chance that you're going to end up hurting yourself or someone else.
Yeah. If you're gassed and you're confused and maybe something in the match has gone wrong, and in the back of your mind you're thinking, I don't want to bend this way just in case I have a little bit of belly fat that the camera's picking up, and you adjust yourself and you drop someone on their neck. No. If you do something that hurts yourself because you're thinking about something that's so stupid, at the end of the day, weight isn't an excuse anymore. I feel like growing up, it was a very different time and everyone was just this one shape. But there are a bunch of different people in different sizes that have proved like you can look however you want to look. If you're good at wrestling and if you connect with people, you're going straight to the stars. And a little bit of belly fat isn't going to stop you.
I think that that's an important aspect as well. It's because like as time's gone on and you look at women's wrestling specifically, like through like the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like women involved in professional wrestling were expected to look like human Barbie dolls and to be long legs and size 5s and doing these, stripping down matches. And it's like even as a male, like I always found like the evening gown matches so like uncomfortable to watch, because it's like, so wait, you're going to strip this person down against their will, and the person who does that is claimed to be a winner. Yeah, no, I don't get that, bro. Like, it never sort of resonated.
Yeah, and you're gonna look immaculate. Well, she does it right, and you're gonna have this perfect set of bra and panties on, and yeah, you're gonna have like minimal body fat, and your makeup and your hair's all done, and you've got spray tan on, and yeah, it's not reality.
It's not. It's not. But that's the thing. Like, even if like I find back then, it's like if a woman has her hair and makeup done and she gets into a fight in the street, I guarantee you that hair is not going to be looking the same. It's like they're not going to be fighting like. There's more to it.
And there's nothing better than seeing two women absolutely just go ham, and then at the end of the match, when all the sweat's lovely on their skin and their mascara is down here and their eyelashes across the ring and their hair extensions are out, there's a beauty in that. And I think it sets up for everyone else to see that and think, if this is something that I want to look into, there isn't just this body stigma that can stop me now. I've never been a size 2 in my life. I am 5 foot nothing. I've never been 6 foot model type ever. And that's why confidence was important to me too, because this is about inclusivity and this is about anyone can tell a story. And I think it's special telling your own story. I'm not interested in telling anyone else's like I am some sort of professional bodybuilding model with a perfect life. That's not my story to tell. I'm a short ass with a bit of a fiery personality, and I've got a bit of junk in the trunk, and I don't look perfect all the time, but there's still this fire in me. And I've still got a story to tell despite how I look and despite how someone on Instagram might see fit to comment. That's another thing. I'm seeing a lot of people get called out for being fat, even when they're like a size 2. And that terrifies me.
Really? In this day and age, people still do that shit?
Like, there are some girls who have absolutely nothing on them. And I just think someone's weight is the quickest insult that they can throw at you. And you could be a size 0. You could be malnourished, haven't eaten for days, no water in your system, nothing. Someone's still probably going to call you fat. And you can have all the makeup on ever, and you could look immaculate with cameras and lights. Someone's still going to call you ugly. And you could...
But that's the thing. The funny thing is these people that sit there and throw this shade at people saying that these women are fat, they're like people that are like these fat middle-aged dudes that, sit on behind the keyboards and typing this shit. Because in reality, they can't even get anywhere close to being with a person like that. Or they're so far screwed up in their own mind that they can't even sit there and realize, they go, this could be a really lovely person, and I'm judging on her because she looks like a model or she has this confidence.
Our bodies were made for literally creating human life. Excuse me if I want a pizza every now and again, okay?
Hey, that's like my wife. If she wants an extra slice of pizza, she looks at me, she goes, hey, I birthed 3 kids, buddy. I'm gonna have
3
that.
kids that you love.
Yeah, most of the time.
You're like, all right, babe, mush out tonight. Get extra topping.
Hey, that's it, but it's just it never ceases to amaze me how people can just be online and just sort of, you're fat. It's like, I even saw someone like on a wrestling Facebook page turn around and like, there was a photo of the Iconics and go, oh, Billy Kay is fat. And I'm like, what in the fuck? How like, what? She's what, a size 6 maybe? Like, I don't know the sizes, but I'm like, what the fuck?
That there's a human being behind that photo.
Yeah.
And if you took the time to listen to their podcast, like, they've got this incredible podcast and they've spoken about body image and how that affects them. But they still have the balls to go out there and tell their own stories and to keep doing them despite what people are saying. Like, I saw Chelsea Green, tiny, ripped to the gods. Someone called her a fat whore on Instagram. And I'm like, if she's fat, what am I? And I seriously have to think about it.
But I think sometimes people say these comments and it's like, I'm just going to say it because I want to hurt this person.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, like Chelsea Green is a fit fucking person who works out probably 2 a days, diets like fucking 6-7 days a week, like dedicated to being a professional athlete. You know what? I'm going to call her fat. That'll fuck with her head. And you know what? She's probably like, okay, buddy.
Cool. Buy my merch.
Yeah, it's simple as that.
I just made a really hot calendar for next year. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Like,
thanks for your $30, Mark. Move along.
Just made an OnlyFans and saw you subscribed.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. It's these people that, I think it comes down to frustration for them. It's like they just, they'll never be in that situation or they'll never be with someone like that. So they want to hurt someone like that. And that's the saddest thing about it.
It's sad, isn't it? But, I kind of want to hug them, but I kind of want to sit them down and give them a stern talking to.
Yeah. Well, I actually feel like I want to sit down and have a dad chat to them like I would with my child, for like picking on someone and going, now, this is why you don't pick on people, okay?
Right. You treat people the way you want to be treated, little Timmy. Like, it's not hard. It's not rocket science.
Now, just go get your pajamas on and go to bed early. for being naughty.
Open your mouth.
Exactly. But we are getting to that 1 hour mark. It is time for that moment. We have told Skylar about it. It is 60 seconds with Piers. We've warned her, we've briefed her, we've let her know everything about how this game is going to go down, how it's going to work, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to fire as many questions as I can in 60 seconds, and Skylar has that time to answer as many as she can. Now, Skylar, when you're ready to go, you let me know and we can start the clock and get this ball rolling.
Shoot.
What is your dream car?
A pink Jeep.
If you can only eat one meal type for a week, what do you choose from between Indian or Thai?
Indian.
Would you rather fight 2 horse-sized ducks or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses. That's fun.
You have 24 hours to spend $2 million. How do you spend it?
I'm going straight to the Maldives.
Plain fairy bread or fairy bread with Nutella?
Plain.
If you could take all the credit for any film in history, which film would it be?
The Blind Side.
How old were you when you found out about Santa Claus?
6.
Ravioli or tortellini?
Tortellini.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
When people chew with their mouths open.
Would you rather own your own boat or your own plane?
Plane.
What
Boat.
did you get? What did you get in trouble for most as a child?
For talking back.
What is your go-to song at karaoke?
Ooh, Living on a Prayer.
Drink of choice.
I don't drink. Get water with lemon.
There you go. Last question. In 5 minutes, you're being shipped to outer space. What 2 personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
Ooh, I need a lipstick and I need a book.
There you go. We've got a pretty
I did
solid
so
answer.
good.
You did. You knocked it. There's no right or wrong answers to 60 seconds with Piers. That's the good thing about it. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. That's I really like that. I've been looking forward to that for the whole podcast. I'm like, yes, I'm so ready. I'm ready to go. Nothing's going to get in my way. I'm going to give him all the answers.
There you go. That is well done. But Skylar, look, thank you so much for being a guest. It's been an absolutely amazing time. This hour has just literally flown by. I'd love to get you back on again. Let's try and tee something up to get you on again if you're available to do it, that is.
I will make time. I've loved it. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Make sure you go and support our sponsors. Go and check out healthvape.com. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount. Also, guys, make sure that you go and check out sleeves.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, go to sleeves.com. They've got everything that you need from your athletic wear and those dirty boxes. Check out, use promo code MWAPOD for you to get a 10% discount. Check out our merch store at storefrontier.com/MWA World. Check out our website, MWA Podcast Network. Guys, we promote shit all day, every day here. Skylar, where can everyone find your merch and where can everyone find you on social media?
All my social medias, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, I have Instagram. It's I am Skyklar Cruize. And my lovely merch, which you can only see part of, sneak peek, is on wrestler merch /Skyklar Cruize. So hit me up.
There you go, guys. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Whether you tuned in live or you tuned in afterwards on the YouTube. God, I'm sounding like an old man. On the YouTube or the podcast platforms, we thank you very much. Stay tuned in for tomorrow for the Funkin' Kingpin show with Angel Medina and Kiwi Alan Funk. So, guys, we'll catch you again very, very soon. Till then, take care of yourselves. Peace out.